Okay, great. So I'll start over with the introductions. My name is Jamaica Jones, and I am the community coordinator, the Gosh community coordinator. I have the pleasure of hosting regular community calls that convenes members of the community in discussions of topics of relevance. We've dedicated this community call to a discussion of the election cycle, which has opened just earlier this morning. We are opening elections for new GOSH community council members. And the goal of this morning's session is to introduce the community or reintroduce the community to the role of the council in general, and to talk about what service on the council entails, why it's important, and why you might want to get involved. So we'll start with a presentation from Lara, and then we'll open it up to some discussion with our current council members. Lara is one of them. We also are introducing Karl, Sakti, and Saad. Maybe not introducing them as they've been serving as the community council for the last year, but introducing their perspectives here this morning or afternoon. So Lara, go ahead and take it away whenever you're ready.
Hi, so I'm sharing the screen. Are you able to see?
Looks great.
Okay, great. Well, as Jamaica says, today we are sharing with you in the context of the elections. The idea of this presentation of today is structured in three main parts. A first part that is about the council, why, what the council is, the role and the functions, and the composition of the actual council. Then are we going to talk about how we work in the council, the different accomplishments and challenges that we have found through these 2 term years. Then the second part that is about the council election. We are going to encourage people of the community to participate, and we are going to share some main parts of the government plans that we are that is going to be uploaded today. And later there is a place of discussion, so if people have questions, we can answer them. Okay, so going to this first part about the council and why do we have a council. Also, we are going to talk who is part of the actual council and the way we have been working and the different accomplishments that we have found. So in the first place, we want to bring back this definition that appears in the GOSH website, that it says, the GOSH Community Council oversees or delegates all tasks, questions, and issues related to governance of the GOSH community and coordinates the allocation of community funds to activities like regional events and collaborative hardware development programs. So bringing this back, we want to share this is the actual council. Well, who is talking right now, me, Lara, and then is Karl, Saad, and Sakti that are also here in this call. We also have a current composition of 4 members, and the difference in the number that usually is 7 is because 1 seat wasn't renewed in the last election. 2 people were not able to complete their own terms of 2 years. So the ideal, organized, and shared way of working in the council proposes 8 domains that appears in the screen, such as management with in different ways, programming, listening, and administration, community support, communications, gathering and events, and roadmap and and funding. So this is the ideal organized and sure way of working that we are seeing right now. But this past year, when we have operating like in a little different way, and instead of in these 8 domains, we have worked on operations that seek to solve problems alongside and also random measurements that we see that we wanted to take those measures. So throughout the council's term, there have different accomplishments, like signed the cooperation agreement with Open Science Hardware Foundation. We recruited also the new community coordinator that is here today, Jamaica, and implemented the ambassador program. We also addressed and identified several challenges, such as the absence of a community coordinator through a little period of time, the lack of quorum within the council, and a funding shortage. So going to the second part, that today idea is to share with you the council elections, what are they about, how they work, and share with you the timeline that we developed in the council. All this information that now we are going to share with you is information that is also in the governance plan that today is going to be uploaded in the forum and the website, I think. So in the first part, we wanted to share with you a little summary of the election process. So the community council membership, it lasts 2 years and is elected annually to ensure balanced annual representation. So 3 or 4 new members are elected at each election. Due to unforeseen circumstances, the 2025 election, so this one that is going to happen this year, will select 6 seats instead of 4 to serve 2-year terms. The reason is of the 6 candidates is because what I was sharing with you before when I show you the council membership. So individuals can nominate others or self-nominate for inclusion in the candidate pool. The nominated candidates can indicate whether they self-identify as fulfilling any combination of the following diversity criteria. I'm only going to share some of those criteria, but there is more. If you want to see all criteria, you can go to the governance plan. Some examples are a member of a regional group, like regional group could be Rigosh and Africa Osh, for example. Also, people that come from a low-income country or an community in Asia or elsewhere. And for example, historical marginalized sexual orientations. These are, among others, the criteria that we are taking in. So the eligible GOSH community members will be required to register to participate in the election. So if you want to vote, you have to register yourself. And as part of registration, voters will be asked to indicate how they meet the voter eligibility criteria defined in the governance plan. For this election, registration will close 5 calendar days before voting in order to provide adequate time for confirmation of eligibility and configuration of voter data in the voting platform. So to summarize, you had to register yourself, and so you are able to vote and to nominate different candidates also. So this now what you're seeing is a summarize of the timeline process that the Gosh Community Council draft moving forward for 2025. So these are some of the main actions that will occur in the next 2 months. For example, on today, the June 6th, the governance plan is published on the forum. And today also is open the independent observation nomination. So you can self nominate also to this. Then on the June 20, the registration to the people to vote is open, so you can register yourself to be able to vote. And June 25, 5 days later, the nominations of candidates are open. 1 month later, on the July 24, the voting begins. After the candidate list is shared with the community, and the candidates present themselves in the forum and in a meeting that is going to take place. On the 5th of August, the voting is closed, and 3 days later, the election results are announced. On the 1st of September, so the new community council begins to work, and they take their seats. So this is a little summarized process. The idea now is that if you have some questions, I'm going to give the voice and the place to Carl. So if you have questions, you can make right now. And Carl, also, if you want to add something of what I have just said, also you're free.
Thank you, Lara, and thanks to all of you that have made it to this community call today. Just before I welcome your questions, I just wanted to emphasize what Lara has already highlighted, that we are here today to share our progress and maybe accountability, and also have an opportunity to interact with you, and so that you get opportunity to ask questions. If you have any questions specifically that you are interested in, most specifically, if you're interested in running for the next elections, that would be good to get insights on what it feels like to be on the council. And we would very much wish to encourage as many of you to express interest in stepping up. Other than that, I think Lara has done a good job. She has exhausted almost all the key points. However, if there's any area of query that you still have interest in, please. The floor is open for questions.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from here.
Hey, Boka. How are you?
Hi, Carl, and hi, everyone. It's nice to be here. So my question, I believe I can ask questions on any area at all, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thank you very much. My question is with regards to the Gosh Ambassador Program, of which I'm a member. I'm one of the ambassadors. So I saw that recently Jamaica sent out like an email asking us to like fill out a report in which we're supposed to like give a report as to what we've done as Gosh ambassadors in the year in review. So I was actually wondering, because if you ask me, I haven't done much myself, because it was just one event which I organized with Samuel and a couple of other, Gosh ambassadors for the African region. And after that event, we've not been able to do much, or I have not been able to do much, because we're asked to send out proposals. We're asked to submit proposals for which the council members are supposed to take a look at it and then give us feedback as to whether or not we are to go ahead with the workshops on the proposals. But since then, we haven't gotten any feedback on that. So I was wondering why that is. And we also need that to fill up our reports if we are asked to do that. So thank you very much. That's my question.
Thank you, Abuka. Any other question, or should I just take on that one, Jamaica? What do you think? Should we get some more?
We have
I
plenty
could
of time, so we can maybe take them one by one.
Okay, cool. So Abuka, thank you so much, and the team with the ambassador program. That has been quite a journey for you guys, and I really appreciate you and the rest of the team that have stayed on. You're the first people to stay on the program, and we are lucky that you've been able to stay on this long, despite the challenges. So I will admit that we would have reviewed, responded to your proposals that you submitted to the council for approval, I think. But there was a time during a time, as what Lara earlier highlighted, and the challenges with the council, that we were short of council people, so we didn't have quorum at some point, and I guess that's why we were a bit silent at that moment, because we couldn't attend to the ambassador program as we should have. So that is that was a major setback in the program as well. However, there was also an issue of funding, because almost all the ambassadors were initially required to receive some bit of funding to support their programs or the initiatives that we're suggesting, but we were unable to secure funding on time. And this was tricky, or not tricky really, but it was more of a start, because previously we were starting programs with money, with funding, and then we initiate the program later. But this time around, we started with a program, and then we started looking for funding to support the program. So I guess that was the tricky move in our operations, and it's a learning experience for all of us, and how best to move forward with future programs. However, I would say that we do recognize that the challenges that you faced as ambassadors, and we want to make this program better and package it better. But we think it will be better if we have a candid conversation with you guys on what you think we should do better before we go forward, especially with the next coming year, because I think there's a bit of funding coming in, but we need to be sure if you're moving in the right direction, and we think you are in best placed to provide that feedback before moving forward. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, that's where we are. And if you have any other, there should be another separate meeting with the ambassadors alone as well, so we can have a detailed conversation there as well. But yeah, I think that answers your question in a nutshell.
Yeah, to an extent it did. Since you're saying we're going to have another session, I think it will be perfect for my follow-up questions. Yeah, thank you.
I should also add that once we've had that ambassador program interaction along with ambassadors and the and the ambassador working group, we should have a report for everyone to review for the entire community. So it's not that we're going to keep the information ourselves, but it will be shared and published on the forum or the website. Any other question? No.
I have a question.
Yes.
I wonder if those of you who are on the council currently and who feel compelled to share, if you could talk for a minute or two about what motivated you to run for the council.
Good question. Who wants to go first? Okay, I'll go first. No worries. Yeah. So for me, what motivated me is a sense of community. I learned so much since I joined the open science space from way back when I was still an undergrad. So I found a sense of belonging, a sense of community. And to me, joining the council was one way of giving back to a community that helped shape of most of my entire career, to say. So it was giving back to the community, sharing experiences and interacting with new people, meeting new people around the world. This is a great opportunity to learn about different cultures and different people. So I've met people from different parts of the world. I've met Lara from across the pond. I don't think I would have met her if it wasn't for such an opportunity. I met Saad. I met so many people even from the previous councils, and it's a great opportunity, really, in so many ways. To grow as an individual, to grow as a community. You learn a lot. For me, that was a great joy. Lara?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to translate some part in English. Well, for me, in the first part, I'm part of a regional Rigosh that is take place mainly in Argentina and Chile. And we have some some meetings, some present meetings during 2022. In those meetings, and 2023, in those meetings, we talk about the importance of having a representation in this global place. So there is a big diversity of voices in this bigger community. And in for me also, I think it's important that the community manages to maintain an autonomous and representative governing body also. So I think it's important that the actual members of that community take place in that governing body, because it's part of what Karl said, to not only to return something that we have from the community, but also to share the interest in working in open science, hardware and software also, and trying to share all. I think the governing body let the community and secure the community to continue to have those talks and discussion about open science, hardware and software with their different visions, and and objectives also. So I think that taking place here is a way of guarantee those talks and discussions, trying to look for fundings, trying to solve problems like I'm trying to publish in the forum, but I can't, and having a person that is in charge of that. I had an idea of at the beginning of what I was expecting, and then in the community council, I think you found like different issues, and also I think what I get more involved, and what I think it's very what I like about being here also that I wasn't expecting is to know more about the history of the community and how the community was developed through the years.
Yeah, I might as well add to what Lara and Carl have said already. When I kind of what made motivated me to join the council was that I had already worked in a couple of other similar international communities, but this one brings in a lot of different perspectives, just because it's open science hardware in general, so it's not just like a specific subset. So you have people ranging from biotechnology to hardware and everything in robotics and everything in between. So I think like what brings me to Gosh itself is just the different community of people and the different sets of perspective you'll interact with. And what brings me to the council in specific was that being able to kind of steer the direction of where this community is going is like truly a privilege, and it was nice to just work with as Carl and Lara said, like people from different regions and see how we can bring open science to each of our regions and help grow the community. So I think I really appreciate the honor of being on the council and then just also being in the community itself. And I'll pass it on to Saad.
Thanks, Sakti. Yeah, my motivations were about trying to build on this idea of the overlap between science and hardware. I really like when the community aspect is what holds these disparate sort of groups of networks together in ways that the networks themselves are not able to do by themselves. And I think the challenges that we're sort of addressing and taking on are very much a representation of the diversity we have in this community. And I feel like this is the strength that we should tap on a little bit more moving forwards, because not a lot of these sort of like professional networks and scientific networks have this unique aspect of dealing with community problems without resorting to like, academic perspectives. So I really like that the forum has this collection of diverse voices and perspectives, not just in terms of people and backgrounds, but also the uniqueness of overlapping science, open science and open hardware, which are, I think, effective tools to communicate and represent what people really care about. Like the stuff that we all get worked up about and the things that we all produce and make, I see them as just representations of what we choose to care about, what we choose to research, and what we choose to share. So I feel like there's an opportunity here for us to work together as a council to sort of bring those things to bear on what people care about most. Oh, that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Thank you, Saad. And thank you, Sakti, Lara, and Carl. I wonder also, I would want to make sure that I'm keeping the floor open to others who want to ask questions, but I'm also curious if you wanted to weigh in what you see as the opportunities for the incoming council. Either opportunities for growth or opportunities for change. What do you think might be their opportunities for engagement with the community broadly?
Yeah, if I could step in on this, like we've been having some discussions within the council these past months just on next steps moving forward. And I think right now our main priority is obviously carrying out these elections just because 6 seats is definitely kind of unprecedented in terms of the history of elections. So, but we were thinking, and for the people who are interested in running for these seats, you guys will kind of be working with me. You will have kind of the opportunity to kind of spearhead what the next steps look like for a council beyond the election. So I think it gives you a lot of free reign and some ideas we've been just, like bouncing back and forward is like increasing engagement with like younger audiences through some educational initiatives. That's something we kind of discussed, but um there's also many more ideas that whatever you guys are interested in can be a discussion.
Sakti, or I don't know if anybody else is having this issue, but on my end, I can no longer hear you.
I think I think I just got disconnected from the meeting midway, but
Sorry.
yeah, as I was just saying, like basically you'll as we enter this new council, you'll have a lot of ability to kind of influence the next steps on just what the council accomplishes. And just to summarize what I said before I got kicked out was that like some ideas we've thought about are increasing engagement with students through like some educational programs and etc. So definitely a lot of opportunity when you if you get elected to the council. So.
Thank you.
I can step in. Thank you, Sakti. You are going to hold the fort as majority of us drop off. I think the next or the incoming council has there are lots of opportunities for the coming team, for the incoming team. There's an opportunity, the major opportunity is to redefine the direction of where you want the community to go. I mean, the roadmap expires this year, so that needs a lot of work to have it revised and steer us in a new direction or new or revised. I don't know how you're going to do it, but there's room for you to explore how you want to coin out how you want the next how they what direction you want the community to take in the next I don't know, yes, could be 5, could be 3. So there's that opportunity. And in that you, of course, as you do that, you direct the community on what kind of projects or programs that we should be pursuing, which in turn directs what fundraising opportunities to pursue, what partnerships to pursue. So it's an exciting time to join the council. Yeah, I think there's a lot to unpack if you do the roadmap, but I think that's a good start.
Well, I will also add of what Sakti and Carl said that I think what what the community have been through these years is and the community council also is knowing that funding also is a big important place. Not place, sorry. It's an important thing to take care of because it lets people to work and continue doing things. So it's part of encouraging people and members of being part of it. So I think that trying to in that way the community council have a big opportunity of working, of trying to like to be more involved with the community in a way that like trying to have to think about how those ideas and the ubiquity of us can be like go down to a real thing, a real place. So I think that is a big opportunity that the council has, trying to think how those big ideas can go to like a very like material thing. I don't know, materialize that. I don't know if I make myself understand, but that I wanted to add.
Thanks, Lara.
I could so add one important aspect that I think we've all have somehow forgotten to mention. That's very important. It also circles back to Ibuka's question, if it's still on. Yeah, the community coordinator. So we basically had a lot of challenges because we lacked we lacked one. So the next council is the best placed because there's going to be one. They have a community coordinator in place to help them organize and stay focused in a way. So that's quite an opportunity for them to tap into and perhaps deliver a bit way better than they should have expected if they didn't have a community coordinator in a sense.
Thank you, Carl. We do have time. If others have questions for the current sitting council, we have plenty of time for that. If not, Laura, did you have final slides that, okay, there you go. Did you want to wrap things up, or would you like me to do the honors, Laura?
You can go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, Jamaica. Carry on.
Please go ahead.
I have one just before you wrap up. I see a Booker and Alex are here, and I still have. We had earlier on sent from the ambassador working group, and we asked them to evaluate the program, and it appears they have some program specific questions. So if Booker and Alex are able to stay on a little longer, maybe 10 minutes after this call, I'm happy to stay on to help you answer those questions to enable you complete those evaluation forms if that's okay on this very call. But great. That's it, Jamaica.
Thank you. I also had another meeting immediately following this one, but that one's canceled. So if it's helpful for me to stay on as well, I now have the time to do that. I'll stop the recording in a second, but just for the purposes of the recording and for the purposes of wrapping up this conversation about the community council and the elections, I do want to say and reiterate what's on the screen that we thank you so much for joining us this morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. You're welcome to reach out to me directly at jamaica@openhardware.science or to the Gosh Council at openhardware.science. There will be, now that the election cycle is officially open, there will be some communications from me, updates throughout the cycle on the forum. There's also, as I've posted in the chat, a dedicated elections page that's been posted to the website. And just to reiterate, I welcome any questions that you have, and I'm happy to, disseminate those broadly to the sitting council or whomever might be best to address them. So I'll stop the recording now.